Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. This is Creative Kickoff with me, Cyn Lagos. I will be your host and your mentor today. And jump on the chat. Let me know where you're joining from by dropping your favorite emoji of your time of the day. I can see already a few folks here. I see Sean, I see Oliver, I see Voodoo. Wow. So awesome to have y'all here. Today, we're going to be learning a little bit about some of my practices of vertical editing in Adobe Premiere Pro. So we all know that it comes with a few challenges. So we're going to cover some practical things as well as some creative approaches. So tune into the chat, say hello to everyone else. Our chat is always really awesome. So get to know each other. All right, so let's get to know me for a second in case you don't know. Just a quick intro. All right, let's see. All right, folks. So like I said, my name is Cyn Lagos. I focus on the mentorship of aspiring artists in the spaces of video, photography, and design, because those are the spaces that I've fostered within myself, and I am very much self-taught as well. So I love that you're here and you're learning with me. There's always something new to learn, especially in the Creative Cloud, Adobe Creative Cloud. There's just so many little tools that always pop up. So this is my website. If you want to jump in here, there's often free resources, freebies, some of which get updated every week. So they're not always available. So make sure to jump in on the website to download them before they're gone, because they will be gone. I will find a new place to put them in. But yeah, tune into that space to find resources, to watch restreams, things like that. That's going to be a really good resource for you. All right, so let's jump right in because we're here kind of not that long. So we're here together for a little bit, and that counts. All right, so I'm here in Adobe Premiere, and I'm going to use my cursor because it's kind of been giving me a hard time, but I'm going to try. Hopefully it is a little bit better. But right off the bat, here's the thing about Premiere. There was a recent update, not that recent, but recent enough that you may not know about it. So we have templates in Premiere, and Premiere understands that you are often working in different ratios and often for social media marketing. So when we create a new project, this is going to be important. You're going to get the option to create a new project based on templates. So this is where you're going to find right here, project templates. Now, this page right here is usually where you grab all of your assets if you want to. There's a few ways to go about it. But most importantly for me, for the vertical approach, is going to be, first of all, naming vertical. I'll call it vertical B. Making sure that it goes to the right location, Creative Kickoff, looking good, and making sure that I have a template, because now, as you may see here, I've got templates of my own, but with your Premiere, you will find this template, social media template project. That's pretty cool. So when we click on it, there you go. You don't have to do anything else. Let's click create down here. All right, so what's going on here, you may ask. Okay, so far we don't see much, but I'm going to direct you to our project panel. So right here in the project panel, let's make it a little bit bigger, more highly visible. There you go. So on the project panel, you're going to see these templates, and they're all for different social media spaces. So for Instagram, for TikTok, for YouTube Shorts, as well as YouTube ads and YouTube universal ratios, right? There's so many cool things for you to post maybe videos as a carousel. So a square ratio. What's even cooler than that is that we have these guidelines, and the guidelines themselves, I've been using my own guidelines for so long. So I love that Premiere created guidelines, because when we click on one of these, let's say we click on TikTok, these are all sequences, right? So sequences is the space where we work. That's the space where we create everything. We bring in all the goods, and that's where we put the puzzle pieces together. That's what a sequence is. Otherwise, we only have video clips, right? So that's where we build our story. So you can see that mine comes equipped with a few things already. So we've got these overlays that are letting us know the UI of TikTok so that we can better prepare our visual assets to fit in the areas that are clearly visible. Now, why would we want that? Well, oftentimes we create captions and maybe they're in this area down here. And that's not a good fit because that's not clearly legible. Maybe you're trying to show off, maybe you did an unboxing, you're trying to show off something peculiar and it's out of frame. That is a bummer, right? Or it's too high up and it's obstructed. We don't want that. So it's really, really cool. I often use it as a creative opportunity to say, point at my profile page, right? Hey, let's create a little arrow right here because I know exactly where it's going to land. So it's opportunities to call to an action. So a lot of room here for creativity. This alone gives me a lot of power to know where my work is going. Okay, so what does it look like in the sequence? So in the sequence, we're looking at 2 files. And I'm just hitting Command plus here to be able to have visibility. So in the 2 files, I fish it. Okay, I'll catch up with the chat in a little bit. In the 2 files, you're gonna find the guideline. This is guideline number 1. Let's label it a different color, which by the way, they're all customized because I don't like the usual color palette. So let's label it a different color. Now, the top one is our guideline. It tells me to delete before exporting because you don't want that guideline to be introduced in your final export, right? So I'll close that. And then here is where our content would go. So our video clips, right? We can delete this if we want to, or this could be a good opportunity to drop and roll, which is something I like to call whenever I drag my clips directly into the sequence. Okay, so let's try that out. Let's bring in some files. So what I can do here, like I said before, we had that space where we can bring in a lot of our files, or we can go here. Let's say, I definitely want to bring these. This is a little surprise I've got for you guys, for y'all. And then here, enjoy. What do I have enjoy? Let me see. Yeah, I named my hard drive Joy because why not? All right, so let's see here. What do we have? Oh, here you go. All right, so we've got a bunch of clips of a very special moment I recently experienced with Adobe. And I can't wait to share this with you. But at the same time, all of these clips, guess what? They're coming from a phone. So you can see there's a couple challenges already, right? They're coming from a phone, number 1. Number 2, a lot of them are horizontal. They're not the vertical ratio. I feel like this is too low. Okay, so we're gonna work with that. But most of all, this is a very special moment where I got to speak in front of my creative community from my hometown in Miami, Florida. And I got to share my story on my journey thus far and the lessons that I've learned. So that little person right here, that's little me doing my first public speaking gig with Adobe. And it was amazing. It was really, really amazing. It was such a good feeling. And I feel like I've learned so much just here with y'all, teaching you and helping you in your journey. So this is a milestone, so I'm happy to be celebrating it with everyone, and especially with my creative community in my hometown. So that was super awesome. So of course, I can't let these videos go to waste. I can't just leave them in a file collecting dust, right? So, yeah, so I have a question already on the chat. Is there any startup file? So no startup file, but I did create a giveaway. Remember, this is a template that lives within Premiere. So you don't need a startup file from me. You can just use the social media template within Premiere. However, I've got a goodie that I'm gonna share with you in a little bit too. All right, so stay tuned. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is drag and drag and roll is what I call it. We can drag holding Alt and drop it directly into that layer, that bottom layer, right? And this could be based on the in and out points that we choose. So I'm just gonna drag the video and drop it in here. So you can see what happens here when I do this. It's super zoomed in, and albeit this is a good file for it to be zoomed in, it's a very large file. Our phones nowadays can film so much. It's kind of incredible, right? Now you might think, oh no, that's a bummer. You can't really see the crowd anymore. That's what I think. I was like, the crowd deserved a horizontal ratio, right? Because they are horizontally large. So in terms of showing off the entire scene, what we could do is use my walking forward as a action, and we can create a couple keyframes. Now, this is beneficial when you have a horizontal video. So let's do a position right here, and we'll create that keyframe, and we'll move it over to the right. And this can help just drag this slowly, just a tad bit, try not to go too far. The distance between the keyframe is gonna determine the speed, right? So let's play. So now it's moving just slightly alongside with me. So this is what it's called a motivated camera move. Granted, we're doing it in post, right? So nobody was moving the camera in the moment. You can also do that. But why is it motivated? Because it's following the subject's actions. So I'm moving to the right, the camera's moving to the right. So that's a cool way to approach horizontal videos. Now, there's a couple other ways that we could also do this. Let's remove this for now. And here is something I want to try out with y'all. Oh, I love this one. This one's a cool one. Just coming in, so awesome. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's go here and select 1, 2, and 3 and hit right click, create multi-camera source. Now, I think here I'm going to remove the mouse because it was malfunctioning earlier. So bear with me. All right, right click, create multi-camera source sequence. This is a way that I like to approach when I have several camera angles and I want to edit a little bit faster, right? So we're going to do everything as is. Just make sure that down here under audio, it says camera 1, not audio. And that's going to be able to follow your camera order. Okay, let's press OK. Now it gives us a folder called process clips. In here, we're going to find a couple different files, right? That are the ones that we just selected. So let's make sure we're in this mode so we can find this little new file here. That's our multicam clip. From here, we're going to right click and we're going to say, create a new sequence from clip. This is where we're going to be editing everything, our puzzle pieces, right? So now this is a different one from this one, from the TikTok one. Hope I'm not losing you there. There you go. This is the new sequence we just built. All right, looking good so far. Now we need one more step. Down here, we have a little plus sign. Let's see if you can catch it. Down here, we have a little plus sign. In that plus sign, hold on, I'm gonna make it bigger for y'all. In that little plus sign, we find all of these amazing buttons that are just hidden in here. They're kind of cool. And I was like, I remember the first time I found them, I was like, wait, hold on, what do they do? So some of my favorites, I love the loop playback and the toggle multi-camera view, as well as the export frame. So today we're gonna be using the toggle multi-camera view. So let's click that, make sure that's in here. I already have it in here, press OK. Just click and drag, make sure that's in there. Let's click it on. Now, when we do that, we have this multi-camera view, but it's more than just a view. It's an editor. So this is gonna allow us to toggle between 3 different angles, which is awesome. And it's going to come into play when you're trying to edit a lot of video clips and you're just overwhelmed, like, how do I put this together? So this is just to be faster, right? More efficient. So here is how we do it. We can press number 1, 2, or 3 for camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, or we can select them here directly. Okay, so let's do this in here. We're gonna press play and we're gonna do each cut. So I'm walking in now, camera 2. Oh, I think camera 2 was too soon, so let's undo that. Let's make sure we're at right at the beginning. So let's press play again. Camera 1 coming in, camera 2, camera 1, camera 3. Now I'm talking. Boom. And what happens there is once you hit pause, now you have these cuts in your timeline. So that essentially did all those cuts for you. Isn't that cool? Do you see them here? So now if you don't like the cut, you can also use the rolling edit tool. I press letter N, just click and drag, and it redefines the in and out points, right? But I love this because it just makes that edit super fast. Now this sequence is horizontal. So what do we do if we want to make it vertical? First of all, I think the best practice is to nest this sequence. We'll nest it right here, call it make vertical, just because that's what's on my brain right now. Yes, I name it Joy as well. Is there, but it was good to go. Let me see. Awesome. All right, so following so far, looking good. Okay, so here's what I can do here. Now we can replace this sequence, which happens to be horizontal, and change it to, let's see if I can find it here. Sequence. My brain is kind of spasming right now. But clip. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go directly to the source. So right click and reveal sequence. Reveal sequence. Right click it again. There you go. Auto reframe sequence. It's always a right click somewhere, right? Auto reframe sequence. And what I want to do is reframe the sequence to vertical right here. So I think I could bring back my mouse. Here we go. So we can see better. So we can auto reframe this so that we don't have to. And this was a feature that came out, I think, in 2019, and it was epic. We're like, wait, hold on a minute. That's amazing. If you have a lot of motion, slow motion, faster motion, that kind of thing, you want to define it right here. And so we click create. And now this is going to create a vertical variation. So let's go to this new file, remove this view of multicam, and now we've got a vertical variation, just like that. Now I haven't color edited these, so if you know, on an iPhone you can edit ProRes log, and so you can edit it in Premiere and create the colors as beautiful as can be. So this is the flat version of that. Okay, so now we're gonna drop some files in here. I'm gonna add several because I'm gonna stack them up. This is something I do often when I'm working, again, with horizontal, and I want to introduce them into a vertical experience. But I don't want to zoom in completely. Maybe I do, but some things don't lend well for that. So let's see what we can do. Here's a creative approach. What I'm going to do here is add a new track and stack a couple of video clips. So I'm just adding tracks. Okay, great. We're going to need a track for an overlay. So here is my freebie of the day because you stuck around, and That's awesome. So I'm gonna go here, and here is this special page. This is gonna be on my website, by the way. So just go to cynlagos.com and you'll find it there. But it'll take you to this page. So you're welcome to donate if you want to, but because you're here live with me, this is a freebie for you. Okay, so what this is, these are overlays that I created. I use these overlays all the time. You might have seen them on my Instagram account. And what they are is that they help us create these kind of really cool layout designs that are creative and they're dynamic and keep the ratio of a horizontal view on our videos, which is so awesome. Look at this. Super cool, right? So check those out. Go to my website to find those. And we're going to use them now so you can see. Rapid fire. All right. So here they are for me. I have got them on the folder. And here you are. All right. So I've got them in here. And I know I have bubbly, quad, round, trio, and tube, like YouTube, because that's what they used to call the phones back then, you know? So it looks black, but in reality, it has a gap. It has kind of a window view. So let's drop in a video clip so we can get a sense of what it looks like. So let's go in here, look at some of our video clips. Super cool moments I will never forget because I got to see people that are in real life, you know, no longer a number. They're incredible human beings that are aspiring to be in this creative field, and I'm helping them. And it's just like, wow, it's the most enriching experience that you can have is meeting the people that have been supporting you for so long. So needless to say, I'm still riding that wave. I'm like feeling so good about it. It's amazing. So here you go. Do you see that? That's looking cool. Of course, we have our overlay. I can remove that overlay so you can see. All right, so now that needs to be resized in our effects panel and placed at the top, just like that. It's not that complicated. You let the overlay do all the work. I find that like around 30 worked for me. Let's drop in maybe this one when I am coming in. So that moment in point, out point. Come back here. Oops, on this one. Come back here, drag it in. And again, same practice. We're gonna resize and place that horizontal variation right here. But whoops, what happens when it takes over like this? So we need an effect. So if you followed some of my streams where we explore the effects are awesome. There's so many cool things in here. But one of my favorites is the crop effect. I just like plosive on that. But yes, the crop effect. Drop it on that clip. Seems like nothing happened, but that's because we have to change the properties. Click on that crop property and you can do it directly on the program panel and just simply crop. There you go. So now when we start playing, you can see we've kept that horizontal ratio and we can keep doing this, right? A couple more times. So what I'll do to make it faster is click and drag this video that we just did as a crop so that the next one we drag in here, holding Option or Alt, follows that same crop property. So here's an example. We'll double click this. I keep changing timelines and double click. Let's see. This one, yeah. So let's go back here and we'll drag this. Well, no, let's drag, can't decide. Oh, this one we haven't used, right? So let's drag that one in and we'll hold Alt and Option. Boom. It also honors the position properties. We're gonna have to change that. because we want it to come down here, right? So you can see maybe this one. Oh, I did use the same one. Okay, but just for show, let's look at this. That's awesome, right? Fairly quick, super cool. So make sure to check those out at cynlagos.com. Again, my name is Cyn Lagos. I love teaching y'all here. Thank you so much for being here. And make sure to tune into all the streams we have prepared for you today to explore more video and the Adobe Creative Cloud. Bye.